our teachers, our mothers, our students, our immigrants, our workers, all sorts of different kind of women, and we organize. Whenever we can, we organize because we understand that the only way we win our rights is through struggle.
We live in a society where when a woman is sexually assaulted, raped, the first thing that they ask her is, what were you wearing? Were you drunk? Well, you know you shouldn't have been there. You were alone at night. It's your fault. It's not your fault. It will never be your fault.
I've never even heard of a single woman in the world who has not been damaged to some extent by the patriarchy. You know, whether the degree may vary, like no one gets away unscathed. No one. And for that matter, no man gets away unscathed. Their position may be of the aggressor, but this isn't good for them either. So I think it's important to realize that we have this pervasive problem.
I work in health and healthcare, and I do that because I think it's a really powerful barometer for social justice and seeing how we're doing. And what I want to say today is that we're not doing very well. There was a recent study just put out that blew my mind, and I think it'll affect you, that African American women who experience discrimination on the day-to-day basis are 70% more likely to develop asthma. Okay, that's a direct connection between what we're feeling on the day-to-day, these kind of psychosocial aspects of our lives that affect profoundly our health. Beyond that, women are the ones who are primarily dealing with caregiving. They're the ones who are our MAs and our nurses who are being really strangled with this healthcare reform and the uncertainties that come from the sequester.
Whereas the right wing has led a state-by-state campaign to gut women's rights, focusing its efforts on areas where women are the most marginalized, and is building a national campaign to destroy any access to reproductive rights, they have led a similar campaign to deny immigrants and people of color, particularly African American and Latino people, voting and other rights. And whereas the multitude of legislative actions that restrict reproductive rights, enable violence against women, undermine services, and limit educational access that help the poorest women constitutes a verifiable war on women's rights. And whereas we understand that women who make up more than half of the population, who bear the brunt of poverty and have a stake in fighting to end racism, poverty, war, and equality everywhere for everyone. The struggle that was won in the 1960s, the many struggles in the 60s and 70s were never a result of any politician or any judge deciding they suddenly cared about women, or they suddenly cared about African Americans, or they suddenly cared about Latinos, or anyone who was struggling at that time for their rights. The gains are a direct result of a movement which millions of people organized and participated in, and that movement started just like this.
Feminism is for anyone who wants equality. It doesn't matter your race, your religion, your creed, where you came from. It doesn't matter who you were in the past and what you used to think. You can change now. You can look at the world around you and see that it's really, really messed up. We've come far, but we have not come far enough. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm not gonna stand by and wait. I'm not going back.
I also want to talk a little bit about why I'm really excited to be here with Word, and how I'm extremely proud that they're recognizing the connections between women's rights and race and police brutality. Because I think we're at a really interesting time where feminism has become a new buzzword, but maybe only for a certain kind of people. You hear people talking about, feminism for the 1%, and about leaning in, and about feminism for those who are CEOs of companies. I believe that when you claim to be a feminist, you want to stand up for all women. You don't get to choose which women. And I'm really proud to be here today.
And I know all the sufferings we had as women, as lesbians, as women of color, women of every diversity, women of every size. I've suffered in that way. And I have risen above that as a woman, as a feminist, as a lesbian, as an Amazon, as a lover of the divine feminine. And I celebrate this event. May it be perfumed with power. May we rise above. And as it says, we won't go back, we will fight back!